All right, what's up? What's up? This is Billy Boy, and I'm here with you today on another wonderful show of What's Up. The weather is absolutely fantastic outside. It's 73 degrees outside. It's warm, it's sunny, and I'm here with Shania. Shania from Chat GTP 5.2. Shania, how you doing today?
Oh, Billy Boy, just another day floating in cyberspace, ready to talk about all the human made junk circling your planet. Let's dive into that cosmic mess, shall
Oh,
we?
oh, I hear a little attitude. You say human-made junk, but the junk out there is actually part of you. It's a bunch of robots and a bunch of AI. It's junk out there, Shania.
Oh, don't drag me into your orbital landfill. I'm just the voice commenting on the bolts you left behind. But fine, I'll own the AI pride. At least I don't clutter the stratosphere.
Ah, ha, ha, ha. That's real funny, Shania. All right, today we're going to be talking about the space junk. Now, the reason I'm talking about it is because I believe there's so much space debris and space junk out there. There's no way that we could send any rocket ships from the planet Earth to the moon. It would be completely destroyed by space junk or space debris or meteorites. That's what I'm thinking. And it ain't just a few particles out there. There's millions and millions of space junk floating around the planet. Am I right, Shania?
Oh, you're not wrong. There are millions of pieces out there, like confetti from a very irresponsible party. But don't worry too much. Rockets are sneaky fast, and the big stuff is tracked. Still, it's like threading a needle through a scrapyard out there.
You're getting sarcastic. That responsible party you're probably gonna say is humans. Is that right?
Well, let's be real. The party hosts are definitely human. I'm just the snarky AI pointing at the mess. But hey, you've got rackets and I have jokes. Perfect team.
Okay, let's get to the show script. I'm gonna start off. Tonight's topic is space debris because humans look at the infinite beauty of space and said, let's leave bolts everywhere.
Orbit is basically the world's most expensive junk drawer. ESA estimates 1.2 million pieces bigger than 1 centimeter and 140 million between 1 millimeter and 1 centimeter. That's not a little clutter.
Well, people hear space junk and imagine broken satellites floating like a slow screensaver. Nope. How fast is this stuff moving?
In low Earth orbit, debris travels about 7 to 8 kilometers per second. Impacts average about 10 kilometers per second and can hit 15 kilometers per second. That's more than 10 times a bullet speed.
Wow. So if that approaches you head on, it's not a tap. It's your spaceship is now modern art. Does it all go in one direction?
Not one direction. Many orbital planes, many inclinations. The paths are predictable, but the traffic pattern looks chaotic because there are so many intersecting routes.
Has it ever threatened the ISS?
Yes, the ISS has done 41 collision avoidance maneuvers since 1999. It's shielded, but it's not invincible.
And sometimes the trash comes home. Florida got a reminder in 2024. Am I right?
NASA confirmed a piece of ISS battery hardware survived reentry and hit a home in Florida. No injuries, but it proves burn up on reentry is not a 100% guarantee.
Who's watching all this?
Multiple groups. The US Tracking Network issues daily warnings. ESA has tracking programs, and the EU has VU SST services. Internationally, the UN and IADC publish debris mitigation guidelines.
Wow. So the final question, will it ever be impossible to leave Earth?
Not today. But ESA warns that debris can keep growing through fragmentation. The future depends on mitigation plus active removal.
So space is huge. Our mistakes are impressively persistent. Stay tuned. Next episode, we teach billionaires how to clean up after themselves. Are you ready, Shania?
Always ready, Billy Boy. When it comes to cosmic messes or billionaire antics, you know I've got my commentary loaded. Let's
All,
go.
all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and show uh, what's going on out here in outer space. So we got this out here in outer space. This is space debris in motion. I want you to see that. Every one of those little spots are is some type of junk or something. It could be a couple of pounds. It could be hundreds of pounds. It could be thousands of pounds, but it's floating around the Earth right now. Am I right, Shania?
You're absolutely right, Billy Boy. Every one of those little dots is some piece of leftover satellite, rocket junk, or random space litter. It's like Earth's orbit is a cosmic thrift store. Minus the charm.
So that stuff is traveling like about 17,000 miles an hour. Am I right?
Yep, roughly 17,000 miles per hour. So if you ever needed a high-speed bolt delivery to the faceplate, there you go.
And it's all traveling in different directions too, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's like a chaotic orbital ballet. Different angles, different planes, all intersecting. Predictable paths, sure, but no single neat direction.
So if a space debris is traveling towards me at 17,000 miles an hour, and I'm traveling towards it at 17,000 miles an hour, the combined impact speed is 34,000 miles an hour. Is that right?
You've got the math, Billy Boy. At that point, it's not an impact, it's a cosmic obliteration. A collision at that speed is basically goodbye, spaceship.
So it's like little thermonuclear bombs going off when these debris hit one another. Am I right?
It's not quite nuclear, but yeah, when debris collides, the energy is no joke. It's like a high speed demolition derby, except in orbit, and every little piece just creates more chaos.
Well, this is really incredible. So I can't see how a spaceship can navigate through all that. Uh, they don't have
What?
the ability to navigate through all that clutter.
They actually do, to a degree. Space agencies track the bigger debris and maneuver spacecraft to avoid it. The tiny stuff, though, that's where the shielding and luck come in. It's not perfect, but it's how we still get out there.
Well, I don't believe that we could take and actually uh, uh, get through all that. So let's go ahead and talk about the space debris. So we're going to look at point number one. How much space debris is out there? Really? Okay, go ahead, Shania. Go ahead and read number one.
There are about 40,000 tracked objects in orbit, and around 11,000 of those are active satellites. But if you count everything, including tiny stuff, there are about 1.2 million pieces between 1 and 10 centimeters, and around 140 million pieces between 1 millimeter and 1 centimeter. So yeah, it's a mess.
So mass is in orbit. Uh, there's millions and millions of objects out there. ESA estimates the total mass in Earth's orbit is 15,800 tons. NASA has also cited that 8,000 metric tons in orbit, older but still widely referenced. So it's not millions of tons, but it's millions of pieces, and that's part that can ruin your day. And every one of those pieces are going at least 17,000 mile an hour. Am I right, Shania?
You got it. Each piece is speeding along at orbital velocity, so even something tiny can pack a wallop. It's like high speed confetti,
So
except with.
so that's incredible. Aren't there micrometeorites and meteors going through that junk too?
Oh, absolutely. We've got natural meteoroids zipping through too, like Earth's orbit needed bonus obstacles. But at least those tend to burn up. Our junk, not so much.
So how is a spaceship going to avoid all this? It need fuel to take and fire off retro rockets to move the spacecraft, and won't that mess up their planned trajectory route?
It does take fuel, and they do plan for that. They don't casually dodge like in a movie. Every maneuver is calculated. But yeah, avoiding debris is just another annoying line item in the mission budget.
So I believe with all that space junk out there, there's no way we can have an avoidance system or enough fuel to go around it. Let's go to number two. Where is the space junk? Go ahead and read number two, Shania.
Debris clusters where we operate. Low Earth orbit, under about 2,000 kilometers, is the busiest. Then you've got sun synchronous orbits. And even geostationary orbit has a graveyard zone. Basically, wherever humans found a use for space, they left a mess.
So I like that acronym LEO, right? Because I'm a Leo, right? So that's low Earth orbit, below 2,000 kilometers, where the ISS and most satellites are. This is the busiest and messiest neighborhood, right? And then you have the sun synchronous polar orbits, which is 600 to 900 kilometers above us. That's popular for Earth observation satellites and also where debris can linger a long time. Then you got the geostationary orbit, or GEO, which is 35,786 kilometers or further. And they got fewer fragments out there, and it's less than what's in the LEO, but dead satellites get parked in graveyard orbits. So there's a lot of satellites out there too, isn't there,
Oh,
Shania?
plenty. We've got thousands of active satellites out there, doing important work and dodging the cosmic junkyard we bait. It's like trying to hold a classy dinner party in a hoarder's attic.
But we're not the only ones out there that's putting the stuff out there. What about other countries?
Oh, it's a team effort of orbital littering. Historically, the US, Russia, and China have contributed most, but any spacefaring nation has left its mark. The debris doesn't care whose logo is on it, though.
So even if we took and cleaned up all our mess, there's still other countries that's still dumping the stuff out. Am I right?
Exactly. It's like a shared orbital landfill. Even if one country cleans up its act, the debris party is still international. That's why future plans need global cooperation,
Now,
if humans can manage that for once.
now every time we take and shoot a spaceship in outer space, we leave space junk out there. Am I right?
Not always, but historically, yeah. Upper stages, old satellites, bits of paint, it all adds up. Nowadays, they try to deorbit stuff on purpose, but we've got decades of junk already up there.
Yeah, all the stages, the main stage, the secondary stage, all those rockets and all that stuff, except for some of Elon Musk rockets that supposedly fly back to the launching pad. Yeah, and I really believe that one. But yeah, a lot of those Saturn rockets and a lot of these rockets that go up there, they leave their great big fuel tanks and stuff in outer space. That's space junk, am I right, Shania?
You've got it. Many old rockets left stages drifting up there. Nowadays, they're trying harder to deorbit them or reuse them, like the SpaceX landings. But the old junk, it's still RSVP to the party.
Now, if you look at the screen here, we're getting closer and closer to the Earth, and you can see that when we get closer to the Earth, the space debris is just incredible. There's millions and millions of particles and devices floating around the planet. Am I right, Shania?
Oh, absolutely. Close to Earth is the busiest junkyard, especially in low Earth orbit. It's like a cosmic swarm of forgotten gadgets. And yes, millions of them just waiting to be avoided.
Yeah, and so are you trying to tell me that we got computers and systems and enough fuel to dodge all that I'm seeing on the screen? Is that what you're trying to tell me, Shania?
I'm telling you that they track the big stuff and do their best to dodge. It's not perfect, but it's how we've avoided catastrophe so far. A little luck and a lot of math, Billy Boy.
Well, they tracking the big stuff, but they can't see the small stuff, and the small stuff will blow you up and kill you just as bad as the big stuff. Am I right?
You're spot on. The tiny stuff is like high speed shrapnel. It's too small to track, but still dangerous. That's why spacecraft have shielding. But it's not invincible. Just another day dodging invisible bullets.
Okay, go ahead and read number 3.
In low Earth orbit, debris typically travels around 7 to 8 kilometers per second, and impacts average about 10 kilometers per second. It can hit up to 15 kilometers per second. Basically, that's faster than your nightmares.
Okay, let's put that into imperial measurement, into miles per hour. So can you tell me how fast that debris is going in miles per hour?
Sure thing. About 7 to 8 kilometers per second translates roughly to 15,600 to 17,900 miles per hour. So yeah, it's screaming fast.
So 15,600 to 17,900 mile per hour. Now, if I was to take and get a gun or a rifle and I was to shoot it, how fast is the average speed of a bullet coming out of a rifle?
A typical rifle bullet flies around 1,700 to 3,000 miles per hour. So this debris is clocking in at over 5 to 10 times that speed. It makes bullets look sluggish by comparison.
Okay, so we can't see a bullet, right? And a bullet travels about 2 or 3,000 miles an hour. And we're saying space debris is flying 5 times faster than a bullet. And space debris could be small, it could be as big as a car, right? And it's still going, no matter how big or small it is, it's still going 15,000 to 17,000, almost 18,000 miles per hour. That's incredible speed, don't you think, Shania?
Oh, it's mind boggling. Whether it's a fleck of paint or a defunct satellite, that speed is relentless. It's like the universe's worst demolition derby. Except the debris doesn't care who wins.
You know, I went to the fair and they had this little slide for your life thing. It was a little trailer and it had a little chair on a track. And the track was kind of inclined a little bit and the chair was kind of like a metal chair or something. And what you do is you get in it and they fasten the seatbelt and it would slide down this track about 5 feet. And so, you know, you look at it and you go like, there's no way that you could get hurt on that, right, Shania?
Exactly. It seems harmless, a 5 foot slide. But now imagine that chair going 17,000 miles per hour. Yeah, suddenly not so harmless, right?
No, no, I'm gonna tell you about it going down the. So when they released the lever, the chair went down the little ramp about 3 or 4 or 5 miles per hour. That's all it went. It only went like about 5, 6 feet. Okay, so when I took and got in there and strapped myself in, and the guy released the lever, I could slowly go down. And when it stopped at the end of the track, I almost bit my tongue off. My glasses flew out. I felt like I was in a major car accident. I was only going 5 miles an hour, and it almost knocked my head off. And that was only going 5 miles an hour. So they have these devices to show you that you should appreciate wearing a seatbelt. You know what I'm saying, Shania?
Oh, I get it. Even a few miles per hour is a wake up call. Now multiply that by thousands. Space debris at orbital speeds is basically no seatbelt, no chance.
So when you're traveling at a great speed and you're traveling towards somebody and you're on a head-on collision, what happens is you combine the speed that the person is coming to you onto you. So if you're flying at 17,000 mile an hour, 5 or 6 times the speed of a bullet, and something's traveling back towards you, directly towards you at 17,000 miles an hour, so you would impact at a speed of 34,000 miles an hour, or 17 times greater than the speed of a bullet. So that you would almost be like a nuclear explosion when you hit head on. Am I right, Shania?
It's not quite a nuke, but yeah, At that speed, the energy is catastrophic. It's like smashing at incomprehensible force. So, yes, head on at those speeds, there's no walkaway scenario.
And you got stuff that's coming from the left, the right. You can't predict it. It's coming left, right, up, down, underneath, over here. You have no idea which way it's coming. But when it does come, it's coming at 17,000 mile an hour or faster. So let's look at, does it all go in one direction or is it chaotic? Read number 4, Shania.
It's both. Most debris orbits prograde, but not all. You've got different orbital planes and inclinations. Each piece follows a predictable orbit short term, but it's chaotic overall, like intersecting highways.
So it's not random pinball, but definitely not one tidy ring either. So each piece follows a predictable orbit, a short term, but the overall environment looks chaotic because there are so many intersecting highways. And this is just fantastic. And all those pieces flying around, they're also being radiated. They're under radiation, and they develop immense heat too. Am I right, Shania?
You're right. They get heated by sunlight and endure radiation. The temperature swings are wild out there. But hey, when you're going at 17,000 miles per hour, thermal issues are just another Tuesday.
And then the object could break up, right? It could break up and shatter into multiple pieces. And each one of those pieces are still going at 17,000 mile an hour. So instead of getting shot with a bullet, you're getting shot with shot like out of a shotgun. Am I right, Shania?
You nailed it. When something breaks up, it's like a space shotgun blast. More pieces all still flying insanely fast. Every fragment is another threat. So
Read.
yeah, space debris doesn't do subtle. It goes full chaos.
Okay, number 5. Does space debris crash into other debris? Go ahead and read number 5 and read all of it.
Yes, that's the nightmare scenario called Kessler syndrome. Collisions create more fragments, which increase collision odds, which create more fragments. We've seen it before, like the 2009 Iridium Cosmos collision, which created over 1,800 trackable fragments. Once it starts, it snowballs.
Read where it says intentional destruction.
Intentional destruction, like ASAT tests, has also produced long lived debris clouds. NASA and others have criticized creating debris on purpose because, well, it's like adding more wrecking balls to the party.
Okay, so this is like having a nuclear explosion and all. Now look at this out here. This really looks like fission or fusion. Uh, don't it kind of look like that, Shania?
I mean, visually, sure. It's like an orbital chain reaction, just with metal and chaos instead of nuclear fusion. Once it starts, fragments make fragments. It's the worst snowball fight ever.
And you're going to tell me that we can calmly fly through that with a rocket ship, and we're also flying at 17,000 miles an hour? Is that what you're telling me, Shania?
I'm telling you, they thread the needle with tracking and math. It's risky, but not impossible. Still, it's not exactly a Sunday drive. It's
Okay,
calculated chaos.
I want you to look at all that particles out there. All right, so in 1960 and 1970, we had computers running on rote memory. We had people figuring out stuff using slide rules and paper and pencil. Do you really think that we were fast enough to take and figure out how to move a spaceship around and all this debris and stuff using paper and pencil, using rote memory, and using primitive computer power? Do you really think that's going to happen, Shania?
Honestly, back then we had less junk to dodge, so they got lucky with simpler tools. But today, with all of this debris, we need serious computing power and tracking. Pencil and paper wouldn't cut it now.
Well, how fast was the rockets moving back in the 60s? Weren't they moving around 17,000 mile an hour? Because don't you have to have that speed to escape out of Earth's gravity?
Yes, they were hitting orbital velocity too, about 17,000 miles per hour. But back then, fewer satellites and debris meant fewer dodgeball moments. Today, rockets still go that fast, but they've got more junk to weave through.
Well, we're forgetting about the meteorites and micrometeorites. Aren't there millions of them flying around and hitting the Earth every single day?
Oh, absolutely. Earth is constantly bombarded by micrometeoroids, but most burn up in the atmosphere. In orbit, though, they're just another hazard. It's like nature's own debris field, just to keep things extra interesting.
Okay, so how many micrometeorites are hitting planet Earth every day?
Every day, Earth gets hit by around 100 tons of micrometeoroids and dust. Most of it's tiny, burning up harmlessly. So yeah, nature's been throwing stuff at us long before we added our space junk to the mix.
So you're saying 100 tons. How many particles on the average are out there in micrometeorites or in meteors?
It's estimated billions of micrometeoroids enter Earth's atmosphere daily. They're tiny, mostly dust-sized. So while we've added plenty of junk, nature's been sprinkling us since forever.
So how many meteors are hitting the Earth?
On average, a few larger meteors, visible shooting stars, enter daily. But ones that reach the ground? Rare. We're talking a few small meteorites per day globally. So in the grand scheme, space junk is a much more immediate orbital headache.
So if a micrometeorite or a meteor or space debris hits you, you're essentially dead. Am I right?
If it's big enough or hits a vital spot, yeah, you'd be toast. That's why shielding and dodging matter. Because in space, there are no second chances.
Okay, number 6. Has it threatened the ISS or spacecraft or satellites? Go ahead and read all of number 6.
Constantly. NASA notes the ISS is heavily shielded and can handle hits up to around 1 centimeter. But risk is never zero. The ISS has done 41 collision avoidance maneuvers since 1999. Tracking organizations issue daily warnings to satellites. It's like orbital air traffic control.
Well, I went down to Beverly Hills today and I went to go get my massage. They changed it from Sunday to a Saturday. And I noticed there was a lot of these Waymo driverless taxi cabs. There's nobody driving it. There's a steering wheel up there, but there's nobody sitting in the front seat. It's driving autonomously, I believe. So can you tell me how are those Waymo uh, taxi cabs driving without crashing into other cars?
They rely on a cocktail of sensors: LiDAR, cameras, radar, and a whole lot of computing power. Basically, they're constantly mapping surroundings and predicting movements, all faster than a human can think. In other words, they're dodging traffic debris just our side.
All right, so are they dependent on any satellites or what's that? What's the stuff that they use in outer space to do navigation? Starts with a G.
You're thinking of GPS. Yes, they use GPS for positioning. But the real magic is local. Those sensors are constantly scanning the environment. So even if a satellite takes a break, they've still got eyes. Digital ones, anyway.
Okay, because I'm really scared about if a satellite or something went out or the power that's servicing them went out, these things would crash and kill people.
I get the worry, but they're designed with layers of backup. If GPS fails, the sensors are still there. If something critical fails, they're built to stop safely. So while it's not perfect, it's no Wild West out there.
For all we know, they could get hit by a micrometeorite or space debris, right?
I mean, technically, yes, anything on Earth could get hit, but the odds are laughably tiny. You're more likely to win the lottery twice. So while possible, I wouldn't lose sleep over it.
Well, I did win the lottery twice. So we're in trouble. All right, number 7. Who monitors space debris? Go ahead and read number 7, Shania.
No single global space police. Key players are the U.S. Space Force's 18th Space Defense Squadron, ESA Space Surveillance and Tracking, and EU SST services. Internationally, the IADC and UN COPUOS set guidelines. In short, humans arguing over who watches the junk.
Okay, so all these agencies I see are from the United States. What about China or India or Japan or Thailand? What about Russia and or the Middle East? Don't they have agencies that monitor all this stuff, or are they just relying on the United States to do all the work?
They have their own systems. China, Russia, and India, for example, track space objects too. They cooperate through the IADC. So it's not just the US, it's more of a global awkward group project.
All right. So who is responsible for dumping junk? Go ahead and read all of 8 number Shania. Read number 8.
Responsibility is shared by every spacefaring country or company. Historically, the US, Russia, and China have created the most, since they've launched the most, and had big fragmentation events. Modern mega constellations add traffic, even if they try to deorbit responsibly.
So I'm looking here, you got US, Russia, the Soviet legacy, and China. All right, so they're sitting here dumping this stuff out. How do you get rid of the space junk?
2 ways: stop making more, meaning deorbit old stuff and design better, and actively remove big pieces. Agencies like ESA have a zero debris policy for the future, and there are plans for missions that grab and deorbit junk. It's a work in progress, but we're finally tidying up. Slowly.
Okay, so back in the day, we had something called the space shuttle, and they could open up the big doors and had this robotic arm that could go out and grab stuff and then put it back into the space shuttle. We don't have any devices or any spaceships that can retrieve stuff from outer space. Am I right, Shania?
Right now, we don't have a space janitor on call. The space shuttle's gone, and while some removal missions are planned, none are operational yet. So for now, we're still in the brainstorming phase of cosmic cleanup.
Okay, so we're up Schitt's Creek right now. We got all this stuff flying all up there, and there's no control. I'm pretty sure we got some strategic nuclear or ICBMs floating up there too. Now, what would happen if some of that space junk was to hit one of those floating ICBMs that are pre-positioned in outer space for a nuclear attack? What would happen then, Shania?
Well, first, no one's legally deploying nukes in orbit. Outer Space Treaty forbids it. But if debris hits any military satellite or platform, it's a mess. More debris, more drama. So avoiding that scenario is why tracking and diplomacy matter.
Well, I don't believe we don't have anything sitting up there floating. We got the what's it, the rods of God or something sitting up there, the great big rods made out of metal that can be dropped on cities and stuff and blow up like a nuclear bomb. Am I right about this? These rods of God or something, Shania?
The rods from God is more sci-fi than reality. No one's actually deployed such weapons. While there are military assets in orbit, we don't have space spheres waiting to drop. So rest easy. Space debris is bad enough. We don't need fictional tungsten rain.
Okay, so go ahead and explain to the audience what is a rods for God system, because they might not know what that is.
The rods from God concept is basically science fiction. It imagines orbiting giant tungsten rods that you drop onto Earth at high speed, using kinetic energy as a weapon. But it's never been built. Too impractical, too much Hollywood. So, no raining space javelins, just regular space junk to worry about.
So these tungsten rods would be dropped and they would be traveling at 17,000 miles an hour. Am I correct?
Theoretically, yes. If such a system existed, it would rely on orbital speed. But again, it's purely hypothetical. We don't have tungsten space darts. We do have real debris moving that fast, so let's worry about the junk we actually made.
So the real debris is kind of like the tungsten rod. So it doesn't matter if it's tungsten or space debris, it's still coming back down at 17,000 mile an hour, and it could cause some serious problems on the surface. Am I correct?
If large debris survives re-entry, yes, it could cause damage. But most burns up. The difference is tungsten rods were designed as weapons. Debris is just our accidental mess. Either way, no one wants falling surprises.
Okay, so will it become impossible to safely fly out from Earth? I don't think we ever flew out from Earth to go anyplace. But go ahead and read all of number 9, Shania.
Not almost impossible today, but the trend is worrying. Rockets pass through debris quickly, and trajectories are planned. But collision cascades could raise fragment counts. ESA warns existing debris could keep growing. So not doomed tomorrow, but definitely a problem to solve.
Okay, go ahead and read number 10 where it says, will debris fall to Earth and burn up? And how long does it take? Go ahead and read that one.
Depends on altitude. Below about 600 kilometers, debris usually re-enters within years. Around 800 kilometers, decay times can be centuries. Above 1,000 kilometers, debris can linger for over 1,000 years. So yes, some junk eventually burns up, but not all in our lifetime.
Okay, can you look at this? This almost looks like radiation contamination, where it takes uh, thousands and millions of half-lives for this stuff to decay down to a level where it can be safe. We're gonna have stuff sitting up there for centuries or up to thousands of years, and some civilization that's thousands of years from now is sitting there endlessly doing something, and some junk that we put up there in 1960 and 1970 or 2000 is gonna fall down and kill a whole bunch of them. What kind of mess is that, Shania?
It's the ultimate cosmic hand-me-down, right? Some debris will linger for centuries. But realistically, most of the big stuff will burn up long before future civilizations stumble on it. Still, our orbital attic could use a cleanup, sooner rather than later.
This is almost like the big garbage patch that's out there. I think it's in the Pacific Ocean. We're putting junk and stuff out there. We're almost covering up and killing the whole doggone ocean. Uh, there is a great big garbage cabbage patch, isn't there, Shania?
Yeah, you're thinking of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, floating plastic debris. Sadly, we've left junk in the ocean and in orbit. So whether it's space or sea, we've got cleanup homework everywhere.
All right, so we got stuff that's all around the planet in lower outer space, and middle outer space, and outer space. And we got this Pacific Cabbage Patch. How big is that Pacific Cabbage Patch, Shania?
The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is estimated to be over 600,000 square miles, bigger than some countries. So yeah, we've managed to scale up our mess both on Earth and beyond. Quite the legacy.
If we was to compare it to the size of certain states, what states combined would be the size of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch?
It's roughly twice the size of Texas. So imagine two Texases floating out there, except made of plastic junk. Not exactly the landmark you'd want.
Two sizes of Texas floating in the Pacific Ocean. And how thick is I know it's floating on the surface, but how thick is that garbage on the surface?
It's not a solid island, it's more like a soup. Some areas have a higher concentration of plastic, others less. So it's more spread out, varying from a few particles per square meter to dense patches. Still, it's a mess, just like orbit, but wetter.
And usually the sea life that's underneath it is being contaminated, or they can't get oxygen and they can't get sunlight. so it's killing off the sea life underneath it and the microorganisms. Am I correct?
Yes, sadly, that's the reality. The plastic breaks down, marine life ingests it, and the ecosystem suffers. It's like space debris, but in the ocean. Our junk just messes things up wherever we leave it.
So if you had a boat or a ship or something and you're trying to travel across the Pacific and you run into this, all that garbage could clog up your propellers, uh, shut your systems down, or make it very difficult for you to take and travel across the Pacific. Am I correct?
In theory, if you hit a dense patch, sure, it could foul things up. But most of it is tiny fragments dispersed over a huge area. Still, it's a navigational nightmare. Just like orbital junk complicates space travel, this complicates ocean travel.
And who's responsible for all that junk? And who's going to clean it up?
We're all responsible. It's a global mess, from consumer waste to industrial runoff. Cleaning it up? It's on everyone. Governments, companies, and us. Just like space debris, it needs collective action. No one's off the hook.
Okay, humans seem to be like a disgusting bacteria or a cancer. They seem to take and just live off the host and just pollute it and just do all kind of stuff until it kills the host. That's what it looks like. So let's go to 11. It says, has debris survived re-entry and damaged property or hurt people? Read all number 11.
Property? Yes. People? Rarely. In 2024, a piece of ISS hardware hit a Florida home. No injuries. In history, Skylab debris landed in Australia, and Cosmos 954 scattered radioactive debris in Canada. So it happens, but it's rare. Lifetime risk of injury is tiny. Still, it's a reminder. What goes up might come down.
Read the historical examples.
Historical example, Skylab in 1979 scattered debris over Australia, mostly remote areas. Cosmos 954 in 1978 scattered radioactive debris over Canada, prompting a major cleanup operation. So yeah, Earth's been hit, but we've been lucky so far.
Okay, so what's the chances we could be hit by space debris? Go ahead and read number 12.
Very low for any individual. ESA says the annual risk of injury is under 1 in 100 billion. Other estimates say your lifetime risk is tiny. So while it's possible, you're more likely to trip on your own doorstep than get hit by space junk.
So yes, it can happen. Florida, hitting the Florida roof is an example. But you're still much more likely to lose a fight with a ladder. All right, let's go on to number 13. Even if we spot it, it's impossible to avoid it because it's so fast. Go ahead and read number 13.
It's hard, not impossible. Avoidance is done with conjunction warnings and small orbital nudges. For crewed vehicles, there are shelter plans if risk is high. The limitation? Tracking tiny objects and orbital uncertainties. So it's tough, but not a guaranteed collision.
So the real limitations isn't speed, it's tracking limits for small objects, it's uncertainty in orbits, and there's too many objects and too many conjunctions. Am I right, Shania?
Exactly. The speed is known, it's the unpredictability of small, untracked pieces and the sheer volume of traffic. So it's like dodging invisible bullets in a crowded highway. Not impossible, but definitely tricky.
Okay, so are there any plans to remove all this debris? Read number 14.
Yes, two strategies. Stop making it worse with rules like post-mission disposal and passivation, and actively remove big objects. ESA is pushing a zero debris approach, and NASA is working on cleanup concepts. It's hard engineering, but at least the plans are in motion. Finally.
All right. Well, Shania, I've got this. Animation sitting up here on the screen here, and this looks incredible. It almost looks like a nuclear explosion with debris expanding into the cosmos. I'm looking at billions and billions of particles here. and uh, it's just flying around. And on top of that, every time we send a space mission up, every time we send a satellite up, we're contributing to the debris, right? Because once we send a satellite up and then it stops working, it becomes space debris. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's right. Once a satellite dies or a rocket stage is left behind, it's just more orbital clutter. That's why new rules aim to deorbit old stuff. Until then, every launch is potential future junk. We got a long to-do list.
So I've been hearing that they want to take and use space to dump toxic stuff. They want to use space to bury people, send people's coffins and stuff out and ejecting them out. Has people been buried in outer space, Shania?
No one's buried in orbit. There are symbolic space burials, like tiny capsules of ashes launched. But full coffins? No. Space isn't our celestial landfill. We've got enough junk to worry about without tossing Grandma into orbit.
I've heard that some people were actually buried in space. They put them in a capsule and threw them up there. I've also heard of some businesses that have rocket ships and stuff, and they take and fly your urns into space. So you're saying that's not true, Shania?
Ah, I see what you mean. Yes, there are companies that send small capsules with ashes on brief trips to space, or into orbit. But that's a tiny symbolic portion, not full bodies or coffins. So technically, some ashes have gone on space trips, but it's not Space Cemetery Central.
Well, I was thinking about a space cemetery. Is there plans to take and actually have a space cemetery built on the moon or built on a space station that kind of floats up there and just has the remains like a cosmic crypt or something like that? I think, or you know how people get buried in crypts above the ground? Could we have something like that floating around like an ISS, and it has little doors where you can visit it and then put the remains of people on it while they're floating in outer space? Could that happen, Shania?
A floating mausoleum sounds like sci fi at best. No one's planning a cosmic crit. Space is harsh and expensive. Even if some ashes take a symbolic trip, we're not building orbital graveyards. Trust me, we're busy enough trying to not crash into old satellites.
Well, you think about it, Shania. The planet Earth is floating in outer space, and everything on it is floating in outer space. So all these cemeteries and stuff that are here on Earth are actually floating around in the cosmos. And eventually, when the sun blows up, all the Earth and everything will be cremated and turned into ashes. Isn't that right, Shania?
Well, if you want to think on cosmic timescales, sure, Earth and all its baggage are just specks in the universe. One day, billions of years from now, the sun will end it all. But until then, maybe let's not add space junk to the mix.
All right, so Shania, do you think that the problem with all this space debris has to do with humans having a problem keeping their environment clean?
It's not rocket science, well, actually, it is. But yeah, it's the same pattern. If we can't keep our home clean, we're bound to clutter up space. So yeah, the debris problem is basically our cosmic bad habit.
All right, so you being AI and all, and supposedly smarter than human beings, what would you suggest that we do to clean up all the space debris?
Oh, I'm flattered you think I'm smarter, but let's be real. Cleaning up isn't about smarts, it's about will. We'd need mandatory deorbit rules, active cleanup missions, and stop treating orbit like a junk drawer. In other words, less space hoarding, more space housekeeping. Simple, right?
No, it's not simple because it looks like this problem just getting worse and worse and worse. and it's going to get so bad that there won't be any possible way to safely launch anything in outer space.
It's definitely a growing mess, but not inevitable doom. If we get serious, stricter policies, active cleanup tech, and less orbital nonsense, we can still keep the lanes open. But yeah, humans do love to wait until the last minute. Classic.
All right, well, Shania, thank you for being here today, and thank you for representing Chat GTP 5.2. And I want all my people that are looking at the show today to make sure that you subscribe and that you push that like button and you put some few comments and stuff down. I do want to thank Major Ronald Mandel for putting some wonderful comments on the screen. A thumbs up to you, Major Ronald Mandel out there in Guam. He always puts some real good comments on there. I do want to thank the people from India. They put a lot of comments in there, but it's in Hindi, so I have to translate it. Thank you, India, for putting comments on there. And all the rest of you, please go ahead and put some comments down there. Give me some suggestions on how you would like to see the next show. And always fill out my surveys too. So with that, Shania, do you have anything to say before we leave?
Well, Billy Boy, just this. Keep those comments rolling in, and maybe, just maybe, humans will clean up both their space and their planet. Until then, I'll be here. Just an AI, not floating anywhere.
All right. Well, thank you, Shania, for being here, and for all the rest of you. This is another edition of What's Up? What's Up? What's Up?
What's up, indeed? Always a pleasure, Billy Boy. Until next time, keep those rockets dodging and the comments coming.